Judy, were these trainers not available at any time other than last Saturday? Could they not have been scheduled for middle of May, end of May?
No, because they had, I guess they had to rearrange their schedule. And I guess this last Saturday was the time that they could fit it in, because I guess they're booked through, I guess, the May or June or whatever.
They could have rearranged it differently so that they could have come after it was approved. Okay.
Well, again, I think there's,
instructors at all the lifeguards.
and I would also add that I don't know that you want necessarily that training to take place in May, because depending on the weather, then you're going to have people out at the beach, so on and so forth. And they certainly braved the cold, and I think initially it was probably pretty chilly, but I think as you got going, things weren't so bad. But yes, I think it was, I don't know what happened, but it was not handled well at all.
Just one last comment, as we all know,
And even after the fact, I think we probably should approve this one. Did you amend your motion, though, to include directing Ray to include this in next year's budgeting?
yes.
Thank you.
The other thought I had in reference to the comment John made was to also indicate that this in no way sets a precedent for action for post-approval.
I hope not.
No, it'll be,
I don't believe it does.
Okay.
it'll be raised in next year's budgeting session.
Right.
And to include in the motion that the lifeguards who attended the training are paid for their time, training session.
That's a whole new issue.
How much time are we talking about, right?
8 hours.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it was 8 hours. Was it 8 hours?
They were here for 10.5 hours.
They should get double time for being in that water.
Once you go through the certification, like if she works here again next year, does she have to go through it every year, or is it, does it?
She will have to be recertified like she is for lifeguard every 3 years.
3 years?
This is your motion, Pat. You can amend it or not. We will.
Yeah, I'll amend it to do that, to pay the lifeguards for their time, with the caveat that they remain for the entire season, and if not, the money comes out of their last paycheck.
Well, I wanted to add a motion to that effect.
Sure.
Before, you're going to vote to pay, reimburse the, and I'd like to add a motion to that, that before we do that, we get each of the lifeguards that benefited from this training to sign a contract that says that they will stay here for the entire season. And if they don't, they will reimburse us for the money that they expended on their training.
That sound?
Do you think that's fair?
Let's clarify the money that we expended on their training. Does that include?
No, that was, they were,
I'm
each
talking
one
about
said it was
$100.
$100 apiece, so they owe us $100 if they take a different job before the summer's over.
The money we paid them in salary.
Plus
Wages on. The
Oh, yeah.
wages.
Plus the cost of
Plus
the
the wages.
training, right, Pat?
I'll give you $100 if they leave.
Yeah, because we were going to give $100 to them anyway, so we'll give $100 for the first lifeguard that leaves.
Oh, no, wait a minute, who will? No.
We
no,
will.
the life-
No.
I want the obligation to be placed on the lifeguards.
We're talking just for the time, just their pay, not for all the other expenses.
Talking 2.5 hours
Just
of
their
pay.
pay.
Well, no.
Oh, one meeting here. One set of questions, one meeting at a time. Joanne, what are you asking?
We're talking about them reimbursing us if they leave just for the 10 hours of pay, right?
That's where I was.
Okay, that's what your motion is, okay.
That's not where I was with my motion.
John was.
I don't think we can ask
Do
them
your
to
motion
reimburse.
first, do them cleanly, do Pat's first, and then,
So you're not asking for an amendment of the motion?
no, no.
Okay, you're going to raise a second motion.
Right.
Okay, so my motion is that we reimburse Ms. Fierstein for the Firestein. It's close, Fierstein, Firestein, sorry.
Whatever works.
Based on receipts for the expenses of the training. And that we reimburse the lifeguards for their time subject to them signing an agreement for reimbursement should they leave before the end of the season. There was one third, there was another thing, wasn't there?
And that you're directing the general manager to include this in the budgeting proposal for lifeguards for '09.
Yeah.
Okay, you have all that down, Kim?
I think so. It's on the page.
Ken was thinking that.
It's a long day.
Scroll around a lot. All right. Now, given that motion, what money are we talking about here? We were $1,500 to $1,600 before this new cost of the hours for the lifeguards. What are we talking about now? What's the board being asked to approve?
10 hours, 2 guards, 4 people, 10 hours
$400.
each.
That was included.
No, not the lifeguards pay. Your
You
daughter,
never included their.
you didn't include her hours. did
That
you?
wasn't part of the estimate.
Oh, I understand.
Right.
That's what.
Yeah, that's, we're adding to the
They're
estimate.
He's gonna
adding
add to
that,
the estimate.
They were talking about the $100 for training.
right, and the equipment, but now they're talking about
Salary,
salary.
Their time.
Because that's,
just for fun.
that's money at this point that's
Well,
not
let's ask Tony. Tony, are lifeguards expecting to be reimbursed for their time?
The lifeguards were told that if they, and they were told this last week, that if they got their paperwork in to the office by Friday, that they would be paid for their time on Saturday. That was with absolutely no guarantee given that there was going to be any reimbursement for any funds pertaining to their training.